स्वभावचिन्मयानन्दं कृपापूर्णं जगत्पतिं हरिषड्वर्गजेतारं नित्यानन्दगुरुं भजे। स्वभावचिन्मयानन्दं कृपापूर्णं जगत्पतिं
सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। I welcome you all with my love and respects. Today we are entering into the sutras of Patanjali, which describes the sadhana patha. The word sadhana need to be understood deeply and very strongly. I can say the whole world is in sadhana, only difference is without knowing what for they are in. Whole world is doing sadhana. Every human being does is sadhana. One problem, they start doing without knowing what for they are doing. Second, sometimes they are doing confusing sadhanas. Morning they do sadhana for achieving something, evening they do sadhana for achieving completely opposite goal. And morning sadhana and evening sadhana is nullified. The nullification always happens with a lot of war, and their body becomes the place of war and stress, finally destruction. Please understand, every human being is doing sadhana. Every breath is sadhana. The very flow of life, very flow of consciousness is sadhana. All you need to do is understanding the purpose and making all your efforts and sadhana in tune with that understanding. Nothing else. It is not that some people have more will, do more sadhana to achieve something, and others don't do more sadhana. No. Every human being does enough sadhana. The problem is, sometime morning you do some sadhana for some purpose, by evening you are doing some sadhana for different purpose. Naturally, this side and that side being pulled and pushed, you'll end up in big mess, you'll end up in big suffering. It's very difficult to achieve anything, to go forward in any direction. Here, Patanjali does an important process, clarifying the purpose to every being and giving exactly what needs to be done. Please understand, Patanjali is the most compassionate guru, endowed with highest possible intellect and intelligence. Usually, when gurus have compassion, they will not have highest possible intellect. When they have highest possible intellect, they will not have compassion. When a disciple comes and asks for some worldly objects, they will say, no, 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 don't bother. It's all okay. He is coming and crying and telling his problem, and you say, no, 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 it's okay, let us do this, something else. No. Buddha, ocean of compassion. But when a lady goes to him with carrying the dead body of her son and crying, Buddha also cried along with her. He was filled with empathy, but he only has to give advice to her, diverting her attention, saying, go and bring handful of sesame seed from some house where nobody has died, I'll revive this boy. Means just giving her consolation, diverting her attention. I am not underestimating Buddha, but Patanjali wouldn't have given that kind of solution. He would have said, come on, bring the body, do what I am saying. He will have him. He is not only the guy with compassion, guy with intellect and intelligence to customize the technique for every need. Customize the technique for every need. And guy who can really put your sadhana on track. First time, I think I can say, last time, a master spoke how to achieve whatever you want through different sadhanas. That is why nobody other than Patanjali is able to give varieties of techniques. Patanjali is the source of varieties of meditation techniques. Anything you ask, he has solution. Any problem, he has solution. He knows sadhana for every problem. He knows solution for every problem. He is not sitting with the same kind of pizza and whoever goes and asks different variety, different kind and just putting the different flavors and offering. No. He is sitting with different products. I am telling you straight away, whether you go to Ramana Maharshi or Buddha or Mahavira or Shankara, they all have a same product. Whoever comes, they just change the flavor and supply. Go to Ramana Maharshi and ask about any problem. He will say, who is asking? Finally, you will divert them to who am I? The Brahmastra. Now, I am not underestimating. Please understand, when I compare and talk about the masters and their expression, I only highlight the greatness of Patanjali. I am not degrading or disrespecting any other master. I want you to understand. The human mind is such, it always looks into the negative side. It always looks into the negative side. It does not bother about the other side. So I am making it very clear. I am not criticizing or underestimating any other masters. I am telling you how Patanjali is totally different. Life affirmating. If you go and ask him, I want this, he will not tell you, drop all that, do this is the highest. When you don't have some other products, you go on emphasizing, diverting people's attention towards the one product which you have. It's like you go to a shop and ask, I want this doll. And that guy says, no, this doll is much better than that doll. This rice is much better than that rice. Please have this. Who knows whether he is promoting that rice just because that is better or because he has only that. Nobody knows. If a guy like Patanjali If he goes on promoting one technique after having solution for everything, I am ready to trust him. But not the people who don't have so many variety go on promoting the same thing. I am very clear. Guy like Patanjali who can give solution, workable solution, result for anything you ask. When he says, beautifully he gives hundreds of different samyamas. Samyama means technique to experience the fulfillment in any direction you ask. He gives you hundreds of samyamas. End of everything he says, all this will not help you for ultimate. Please go for ultimate. I am ready to trust his word. He is worthy of trust because he has proved to me he has solution for what I am asking. Then he is telling there is higher solution, go for it. If Buddha gives a technique for that mother to revive the child, then he says it is useless, come on, forget about it, then it is worthy. We can trust Buddha completely. But straight away he says, go and bring some sesame seed from the houses where nobody has died. I can accept because I know Buddha has achieved the ultimate. But an ordinary man who has a sharp, strong logic cannot accept. He will say, maybe Buddha doesn't know the solution. He has only the intelligence to divert the attention. Yes, you can. You can say. You can say. People ask me, Swamiji, these people who are expressing miracle powers like a materializing, teleporting, such a dirty thing, why are they expressing all these things? It is not sign of enlightenment. I tell them, no, stop. Stop talking. If you have the capacity to express those powers and you are not expressing, then criticize them. Not before that. Not before that. If you have the capacity and you are not expressing, you are completely in tune only with enlightenment, without expressing any of the other powers, then you have the right to criticize. Not before that. Not before that. Please understand, anybody goes to Shankara with any problem, he has only one solution. Maybe that solution is the ultimate solution, but why should everybody why should everybody be given always the ultimate solution, which they may not want? The poor guy has come just for asking few hundred rupees to run his life. Then you start talking, suddenly you start telling all the big things and Advaitam, Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi. What that poor guy will do? I have seen. Once an old lady came to me for some stomach healing. I said, all right, today I'll heal you. I want you to come tomorrow also. Please come tomorrow and sit in the Kalpataru program because I'll be able to see only in the evening. She came and sat in the Kalpataru. In the evening, when she came for darshan, she started crying. I asked, why stomach pain increased? Why are you crying? She said, no, Swamiji, pain has reduced a lot. But today's Kalpataru, the problem is poor old lady came for a stomach pain. And these guys in the Kalpataru session started talking about quantum physics theory. Listening to all those theories, now she has a headache. Instead of Kalpataru, instead of stomach pain, she has a headache now. The poor lady came for simple solution, and these guys are giving ultimate solution, which goes above her head. Please understand. Finally, I had to heal her stomach pain and headache. Sometime, the ultimate solution may not suit. People may not want ultimate solution all the time. Why should you expect constantly people to expect ultimate solutions in their life? No need. The men who are 24 hours in fantasy and finish all kinds of living in fantasy itself are constantly imagining about the ultimate solution. Whenever a couple come to me and talk to me about their problem, I listen to the women's version, because she will be down to earth and describing as it is. But this guy will go on be spinning and creating different words. By the time he finishes, neither he will know what is the real problem, nor I will know what is the real problem. Because men by nature started living with cerebral layer. And they always look, I have seen many people, I wanted you guys to understand this very sincerely. I have seen people coming and tell, the moment they come near me, they say, I ask them, you want to tell me anything? They say, no, Swamiji, everything is okay, everything is great, you just bless me with your presence. But the women are very intelligent. They will straight away ask me what they want. They will straight away tell me, this is the problem, Swamiji. Then I will bless them. This guy, after going out, naturally he will chat with her. What you asked, and what you asked. Then that fellow will realize, oh God, I missed. I should have asked about this problem. I missed. Second time he will come and ask for that problem. Usually I will ask, why did you not tell me earlier? No. I started thinking, if I ask about this problem, what answer you will give? And finally what I want, ultimately I want only the solution. Your presence will solve. So I myself came to the conclusion. So I asked finally for your presence. These guys, instead of presenting the straight problem they have, through the cerebral layer, they leave all the problem and make that problem into an ultimate problem and start thinking that ultimate solution will solve the immediate problem. Almost like life negating. Finally understand, all ultimate solutions do not solve the immediate problem. They only make you forget the immediate problem. That is why the philosophy of Advaita is very suitable for male mind, male brain. All Advaita Sampradayas do not allow women to be in their pitas, do not cater to women. All Advaita Sampradayas, whether it is Buddhism or Hinduism or Jainism, all the Advaita based Sampradayas. I am making a very strong statement. But I am telling, I have to reveal these basic secrets. Because all these Advaita Sampradayas make you live through all the small problems cerebrally and catch your attention on the ultimate problem and go on supplying the ultimate solution. These poor fellows are constantly mesmerized and hypnotized, thinking all their problem is the ultimate problem and they want ultimate solution, trying to struggle with the ultimate solution, trying to work the ultimate solution in the life and finally fail. And these women are nicely enjoying singing and dancing about Krishna and living the real spirituality. That's where the final ending happens. Because these guys are so down to earth. If they want sitting and seeing the master is the joy, they are very straight. They say, this is what we want. Singing and dancing about Krishna is a joy. This is the straight thing they say. Over. They do not try to make that as ultimate problem. Oh, because I miss enlightenment inside, I crave for Master's presence outside. That is the reason I crave Krishna's presence outside. But any form and name will be destroyed. That is not ultimate solution. So I should go for ultimate solution. What is ultimate solution? The formless, nameless experience of enlightenment. So for that, what is the best way? Master's presence. Let me ask the Master's presence in my life. They do not do this foolish calculation. They are very down to earth. They do not live through the whole sadhana period cerebrally. Unfortunately, men finish their whole sadhana cerebrally. They don't walk through the path and they are already imagining they are in the goal, almost near the goal. Really, I have seen every man, the moment they finish reading solution for all small problems, they think they have crashed the small problems. I have seen hundreds of men, just by reading the solution for problems, they think they already crashed those problems. Those problems do not exist in them. When you write book for men, describe all the problems in a detailed visual way, describe about the solutions in a detailed visual way. All you need is make them read that. That's all. By the time they finish reading, they have a complete satisfaction. They don't have all those problems. Now those problems are solved. Even if it comes, they have the weapon to handle it. Only when it comes, they will know the weapon is only bookish knowledge. And they are in depression. Problem needs to be handled as it is. Patanjali is the first master who can handle feminine consciousness. Patanjali is the first master who can solve the problems as they are. For all men are the people with men's mind, Shankara, Buddha, Mahavir, they are the best masters. For all the people who are straight, direct, to the problem, to the core, to the solution, Patanjali is the ultimate master. He is a straight person. He is very clear. Are you coming to this for this problem? Here I am, giving the solution. See, I am not disrespecting Buddha's solution for that mother, but I will not completely go with it. If I have to face that same situation, I will tell the mother very clearly, I do not have solution for your problem. I can sympathize, empathize, I can cry with you for few seconds, few moments, and show that I stand by you as a well-wisher. Not more than that. Maybe if you ask for ultimate solution, I'll be able to give. That will be the straight answer. But Patanjali is a guy who can revive the child and give the ultimate solution to the mother. After reviving the child, he will tell, now I revived, but understand your attachment with this baby is going to be impermanent. Let the baby grow and live on his own. After a little time, come and take sannyas and achieve enlightenment. He would have given a complete solution. The only difference and major difference I see between other masters and Patanjali is straight, humble and simple. He does not hypnotize people with that ultimate diamond he is having. This poor guy is coming and asking for 10 kg brinjal for his day-to-day food. And you have a huge diamond, you just dangle that in front of him, saying that I have a huge diamond, come on, I'll give you. All right, with this diamond he can't have his lunch. You may say, no, you can sell the diamond and get the money, have his lunch. But to achieve the diamond, you want him to spend for 12 years. You say, after 12 years, I'll give you the diamond. And that poor fellow, what will he do for the 12 years lunch? No, it's okay. You die without having lunch. Take one more birth. That time you will spend 12 years. Then I'll give you the diamond. Don't you feel it is simple cheating? I really feel when you go on diverting the attention of the people to the ultimate solution, unable to handle and give the simple immediate solution, it is cheating. Many times I tell people very clearly, I am good at this. I am not good at some of the things. So those few things, I'll stand by you as a friend, well-wisher. I'll go through with you. That much only I am able to do. Not more than that. Many times, just my compassion, my love, I feel the people should be told very clearly the difference between ultimate solution and immediate solutions. I had two great teachers in my life. I was able to trust them completely for the ultimate solutions because they were very clear in immediate solutions. In the immediate solutions, they are very clear about their abilities and inabilities. Because they were very clear about their abilities and inabilities in the immediate solutions, I was able to trust them that they are very clear about the ultimate solutions also. Many times when I tell in the Kalpataru, I'll meditate for you, I'll look into it, I'll pray for it. People try to get strong words from my mouth. No, say it will happen. I tell them, in this immediate solutions, if I am straight and more clear, then there is a possibility you will have the trust over me for the ultimate solution. I don't want you to lose the trust for ultimate solution just based on these immediate solutions. Sadhana Pada is a very powerful methods and techniques given by Patanjali for every solution. For every solution. He gives solution for every simple immediate problems. He is not saying when you go and ask him 10 kg brinjal, he is straight giving you 10 kg brinjal. He is not saying, see here, I am having a big diamond, you come to me and ask for simple brinjal instead of asking for this diamond. When you ask for this diamond, that fellow will tell, no, sit for 10 days and blow your nose left and right. And same way sit upside down and blow your nose for left and right and do the same thing for 24 years. By the time you finish all that, I may give this this diamond to you. It's almost like we should put in a small footprint. If you survive all these things, I will give the diamond to you. No. Patanjali is immediate. I can say Patanjali is the most compassionate master. He is just compassion. He understands you as you are. He relates with you as you are. When you understand your simple problems as ultimate problems and ask for ultimate solution, please understand your sadhana will never be perfect. People come and ask me, I am bored and tired in sadhana, Swamiji. I tell them, are you bored and tired when you make money, when you are working for making money? They say, no. Then That is your right desire, immediate desire. That is the immediate solution you need. There is some YouTube clipping. They have some bhajans, very funny bhajans. They sit and sing, money is God, we want money. Straight. They do not have any problem. That is what they want. So they are doing sadhana for that. That's all. When I saw, first it was feeling little funny. Then I understood they are straight. They are really working from the consciousness of Patanjali. Exactly what you want, you work for it, and you won't have tiredness. If you are feeling tired, when you do sadhana, be very clear, your problem is not ultimate problem, it is immediate problem. You need immediately your wife's advice. You don't need my advice, you need her advice. You may think that is what we get too much in the house, that's why we come here sometime to get yours. No. I will write the prescription, diverted to your wife, redirected to your wife. Because she can predict and tell you the exactly right problem you have, which your mind is constantly verbalizing and making it as a cerebral layer and making it as an ultimate problem. No. When you don't have ultimate problem and cerebrally you start thinking you have ultimate problem and working on the ultimate solution, you will be tired, bored, and nothing will work. Ultimate solutions do not work for the people who do not have ultimate problems. Fortunately, I had a master who was teaching me this Patanjali Yoga. He was so clear. He understood the value of solving the down-to-earth problems. He understood the value of seeing and showing simple miracles. I really feel sometimes that the biomemory in which I happen to be in, for various reasons, is not expressing the simple miracles. Of course, it does rarely, but not regularly, not as a regular lifestyle. Sometimes I felt this as a drawback, and same time I felt this as a safety for this body. See, with this expressing miracles, two will happen. One, lot of sincere seekers will have the simple solutions for their simple problems, will be able to trust the ultimate solution for ultimate problems. That's a good side of it. The bad side of it is, people who have only simple problems, who do not want or care about the ultimate things, come and settle down, they create hell for the master's body and the mission. When they do not have the sincerity and depth, they go on creating hell for his body or for his teaching or for his mission, Sangha. That is the other side of it. But fortunately I had a master whose everyday lifestyle is expressing miracles. That was his lifestyle. I remember one beautiful incident. One day I was reading a sutra from these Patanjali Yoga Sutras. He was explaining about the Samyaman Kurmanadi. Kurmanadi is a energy, special energy flows in your body. If you the sutra says, if you concentrate on that, if you do samyama on that, you will have the experience of the whole cosmos. You will be able to see very clearly the whole cosmos. I asked him, how can that be? Just meditating on some nadi on your body, how can you see the whole cosmos? We were sitting in a small mantapa and talking. Dragged me, holding this hand. He has exactly found the spot of Kurmanadi. He just pressed it. The moment we came out of that hall to the open sky, he just pressed that Kurmanadi. And that Samyama has happened on the Kurmanadi. It was so sweet, that spot, so tasty, so ecstatic. Automatically my whole attention fell on that spot, on that Samyama, on the Kurmanadi. And he told me, like, now look up. It was maybe around 11 o'clock, daytime, morning 11 o'clock. I could see very clearly the sun and moon and the whole, all the stars, very clearly. Please understand, I am telling you as it happened. I was shocked. I said, oh God, how can this be? The moment he took his hands off, again the whole thing disappeared. I saw simply how we see now. I asked him, how can this happen? He said, it's nothing. When you put Samyama on the Kurmanadi, the eyeball movements stops. See, all of us continuously have an eyeball movement. Every thought which happens in you makes the eyeball move very little, but sure, there is a movement. That subtle shaking of eyeball stops you look beyond the blue layer. It stops you look beyond certain distance. If that eyeball movement is arrested and stable, in the Puranas there is a mention, Devatas, gods, do not have eyeball movements. Their eyelids do not move. That is one of the symbol described for gods. See, if you have any darshan or vision, to find out the person whom you are seeing in the darshan, is he really God or some illusion? These are the 2-3 basic scales. Their feet will not be touching the ground. There will not be eyeball or eyelid movement. So he says, I just made you do Samyama on the Kurmanadi. The eyeball movement stops. When eyeball movement stops, you can just penetrate through the layer of light deflection or light reflection and see beyond. That's all. Now when I tell this, all of you feel, can't we go out of Chitsabha and you hold our Kurmanadi and see the sky? Of course, I do wish to do that. But somehow, unfortunately, that kind of biomemory is not expressing in me, at least to work with the common or the mass. Sometimes it expresses with a small group of disciples, this kind of things happens, I have seen. This kind of miracles. See, this one incident has made something totally different in me. The deep, unshakable vidarka happened with that master. Just unshakable vidarka, naturally, because he is showing directly. He is not talking about some time, if you go on blowing your nose, at one day something will land on you. No. Immediate. Straight. But even he never does all this with everybody. I have seen. He had at least 100 disciples who are coming to me every day. But I can say maybe only with 2-3 he was closely working. Anyhow, we don't know the reason. But he was able to show the immediate solution, immediate result. All the techniques, methods Patanjali describes in the sadhana pada are straight and immediate. Does not require 12 years as it is told to many of us by the so-called teachers. When these teachers themselves do not realize, they go on dragging. Sometimes people come and tell me, Swamiji, you make things very simple and too straight. I tell them, I cannot help it because that is the way I learnt it. That is the way I was told. That is the way I imbibed. So I cannot help it. I am not making you instant coffee. I was given instant coffee, so I am sharing it with you. The immediate solution, straight things. The immediate solutions makes you understand your immediate problems and helps you to solve it. If I go on talking about the ultimate solution, you also start thinking all your problems are ultimate problems and land up in depression. I have seen hundreds of people taking up this ultimate solution as their life and lifestyle, go on living, after some time feeling only frustrated because that is not their problem at all. By the time they realize that is not their problem at all, their life is over and they are into bigger problems and mess. I trust women seekers and their questions more than men, especially the men who are well read. Because any Advaita book you read, it very nicely diverts your problems into tuck, this. Finally, they prove the ultimate problem is your problem. And this poor fellow, anything logically proved, immediately he starts believing. And he starts thinking that is his problem. And he is sitting. His problem is simple 2 kg brinjal and little bit of salary, raise in the salary. Of course, I am analyzing the problems as it is. All I am trying to tell you is find your problem, solve your problem directly. Meera's experience is much more solid and truthful, honest for me than the so-called Advaita Vedantins' silence. The silence of the so-called Advaitis can be poked. You don't even need a stick. Just your face or a look is enough to disturb his whole silence. But Meera's ecstasy and dance cannot be disturbed even by giving poison or even by putting in prison. Meera was put in prison. I always used to ponder, analyze, who are the people who have the guts to go through the religious persecution? Please understand, throughout the history, all Dvaitis only had the Bhaktas, only had the guts and courage to go through the religious persecution. Never Advaitis. They are very nice, politically polite people. The moment they see a religious persecution, they will say, no, all religions are one and the same. There is nothing wrong. Let you do this, let you do that, that. They know how to sing that la 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 la. No Advaiti had guts to go through religious persecution. The guts to go through the religious persecution proves the depth of the experience of that person. I have seen all Dvaitis, Bhaktas, only they have the depth to go through the religious persecution. Look into all the Advaitis. Advaitis never get into even that level of that much of conflict. The moment the argument comes, either they try to win intellectually or they just relax and back out and they say, it's okay, you have the regular meal, I will have the regular meal, let's both live. Maybe I live as a disciple for you, no problem. They come to an agreement, MOU. But these Dvaitis, because they have seen the solution for their immediate problem, the strength of their experience is so strong, they are ready to stand and go through the religious persecution without bending. Please understand, in this whole scandal, the fire we went through, the acid test we went through, the women who have a strong bhakti, the Dvaitic experience stood the whole experience, the whole scandal, the whole acid test. Even the men who have the Dvaitic experience, the bhakti experience, the immediate solution, immediate experience, they all strongly stood and went through this whole acid test. Courage to face the religious persecution. But all these guys who are cerebrally planning, cerebral plans, go on making the immediate solutions into the ultimate, immediate problems into the ultimate problem, and fantasizing the ultimate problem and planning that they have the ultimate problem, and go on thinking that they will have the solution, disappeared. Because they do not know what is immediate problem. All the fellows who are hanging around me, without knowing their immediate problem or without trying to have solution for the immediate problem, cerebrally playing the idea of their immediate problem is the ultimate problem, and hanging around with that ultimate idea, they did not have the guts to go through the religious persecution. They say, escape, come on, hands off, dump, and throw a little more mud and escape. I tell you, first know your immediate problem. Let you have the immediate solution. Then you will see. When you have the ultimate problem, go for the ultimate solution. Patanjali is the ultimate master. He is for feminine consciousness. He is for feminine consciousness. Sometimes people ask me, Swamiji, many disciples have left you, don't you miss them? I tell them, I do miss people who really had the possibility and missed me. Not the fellows who are constantly making their immediate problem into the ultimate problem and hanging around me for a wrong reason. But I do miss some people who have been influenced by the people who are around me for wrong reasons. People who are around me for wrong reasons, naturally they will not be fulfilled. They will have all the strong words about me. And the people who are around me for right reasons, when these guys swallow these words, people who are around me for right reasons, when they swallow the words from people who are around me for wrong reasons and got spoiled and lost, missed me, I miss those people. Not the people who are around me for wrong reasons.
Paramahamsa Nityananda, 33 countries, 44 lakh devotees offer gratitude to the Guru. On the auspicious day, Guru Purnima, Mahakumbhabhisheka, offering of Gurumudi, Annadan. Above all, Paramahamsa's individual blessings. To understand and experience, we invite every one of you. Entry free. 25th July, Sunday. Nityananda Dhyanapeetham, Bengaluru.